Hi, it's Mark Owen from Moose Marketing and PR, the editor of Punchline magazine. Today I'm with Paul Drabble, the consultant for Randall and Payne. Hi, good afternoon, Paul. Very nice for you to join Punchline Talks. Paul, let's be honest, the retail sector, the hospitality sector has been really hit by the pandemic. What's going to happen next? How are businesses going to survive and get through this next area? What do you guys recommend?
Yeah, hi, Mark. I think what we're going to see in the medium to long term is an even bigger challenge for the retail sector and the food and drink sector. These are the sectors that have been hit the hardest as a result of the pandemic. And when you think about it in context, the government helped a lot of these businesses in the early days of lockdown. A lot of those supports, financial supports, are now winding down, coming to an end. In the short term as well, a lot of businesses have to start repaying their bounce back loans. And as we come out of this, hopefully with light at the end of the tunnel, businesses have to think differently in terms of how they grow their business profitably, because a lot of the support mechanics that have been in place will no longer be there. And businesses really have to think about driving that top line for improving revenue and improving cash flow to support my business. And a lot of these businesses are in retail and food and drink and the leisure sector. Yes, we will start to see a recovery, but it'll be a good 2 to 3 years before we see anything back to as it was pre-pandemic. So it's going to be a slow process. During those years, you still have to pay the bills, you still have to fund your costs, pay your staff. So it's going to be a critical part and even more challenging part in the next really 2 to 3 years. I would imagine it'll be 2023, 2024. We see any stability, real stability in these sectors. And hence what we're doing, working and teaming up with Randall and Payne is developing a 5-stage plan, which we'll deliver at a webinar at the end of February, 25th of February. It's a lunchtime webinar. And that 5-point plan really covers the help and support for businesses in these sectors. And the starting point of that support is really understanding your market, your future market, not your past market. Our future market has changed. And if you think about the impact of COVID, it's changed every aspect of consumer life. And I call it a lifestyle ecosystem change. When you think about the impact on all those aspects of life, we've seen 10 years change in as many months. That change has really been accelerated. But for businesses, that is also an opportunity. Because you think about that new lifestyle ecosystem, whether it's healthy eating, whether it's working from home, or whether it's a lifestyle change in terms of how do I shop in the high street, and you think about the high street as it will be in the future, there'll be a lot of empty space, a lot of business closures continue. What do you do with that space? That's a real opportunity for innovation on the high street to create what I call retail theatre, experiential shopping, to reinvent that. And a lot of local businesses, local supply businesses, there's the opportunity, because digital, as much as it offers a new route to market for businesses, it's very transactional. You don't get that theatre, you don't get that service level you can deliver in high street retail. So this whole ecosystem is going to change fundamentally the way we shop, how we shop, where we shop, what we consume. So for businesses, that's an opportunity. That's the first part we'll be talking about at the webinar at the end of the month. But what you need to grow is finance and cash and investment. We'll also be talking through, with the help of Randall and Payne and Will Abbott, how do you raise that capital and finance? Yes, there's cash flow, that needs to cover the bills, but there are other ways you can raise finance, whether it's through equity funding, improved margin and pricing, grants that are potentially available. So it's really getting that combination of cash, free cash, to invest in growth. Once you've got that platform, you can then start to think, how do I compete in the marketplace? And what we see and we will see in the market are new competitors, what I call new kids on the block, coming into the market. They've seen this crisis and this change, and there's new market opportunity, and you'll get those entrepreneurs coming into the market. So thinking about your business is, how do I differentiate myself against competition? And how do I make myself relevant to my target customer, which we mentioned in that first phase of really understanding the market. That's the strategy part. Behind that, you really then need an effective operating model. So really think about the infrastructure that delivers that: supply chain, production, manufacturing, people, skills and capability, customer service, financing, making sure you have enough working capital to deliver the plan. So I see a lot of great business plans fail because of a poor operating model. So you have to think that all the way through in terms of how you deliver the plan. And the final stage we'll be discussing on, I'm a great believer of this. If you're setting out ambitious and realistic goals, how do you measure them? Having realistic and robust KPIs, not only in finance, but in people, in development, in customer service, but also as well, identifying those risks. You can guarantee something will come out of the woodwork and bite you and think, crikey, I didn't see that coming. How do you mitigate that risk? So again, it's managing those shocks, those financial shocks that we've seen over the last 12 months, is minimizing those shocks in the future and making sure you have a contingency plan in place. So as I say, all those 5 areas we'll be discussing in a little more detail, lots of examples, lots of interactive discussion, a lot of Q&As at the webinar on the 25th. So it's at lunchtime, so it's a good opportunity to use your lunchtime break to just tune in, and you're very, very welcome.
And how do we find out where it is?
A couple of ways. The Randall and Payne website, you just go onto their events page, you can click, it'll tell you a bit more about the webinar, and you can register through Eventbrite. We are working on the support from the Growth Hub and the LEP. They're helping us market. Your good selves, thank you very much for your support there. And then over the many years of working in the industry, my own clients and Randall and Payne's own clients as well will be inviting direct. So we're hoping to get a good variety and a good contribution from people who want to tune in on the 25th.
That sounds fantastic, Paul. Thanks ever so much for joining us today, and keep watching Punchline Talks.
Thanks very much, Mark.
Bye.